This is the new DS7 Crossback, and it's a luxury SUV to take on the likes of Mercedes, BMW and Audi. Actually, the front end of that car actually looks a little bit like an Audi with the grille and everything, doesn't it? Now, DS is Peugeot Citroën's premium brand. Now, we're all used to luxury French goods, aren't we? Such as Louis Vuitton luggage, Chanel dresses and Hermes handbags. But luxury French cars? No, we're more used to them being cheap little runarounds. Thankfully, the price of this DS isn't too extravagant. So it starts from £28,000, which means it's more Pierre Cardin than Yves Saint Laurent in terms of the cost. Now, if you want more detail on this car, or to see how much you can save on any car for that matter, click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen, or on the link below the video to go to carwow.co.uk. The interior of this DS7 is definitely very interesting, though I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. So there's something a little bit kind of haute couture, a bit catwalky about it, and maybe for someone boring like myself, it's just a little bit overdone perhaps, but I can't fault it. Some people will really like it. It's got style anyway. And quality-wise, well, there's some scratchy plastics down here, and if I wobble the centre console, it feels pretty sturdy, maybe a little bit of flex, but yeah, it does feel pretty nice. And the rest of the materials, yeah, that's quality up there, that's quality up there. And I really like the fact that on all but the entry-level car, you get like material on the dash and on the doors. On this performance line version, it's fake suede, also known as Alcantara. On the high-spec version, you actually get soft Napa leather, and that is lovely. Now, don't get the entry-level car because you do want those materials on the dash and on the doors. And also, all but the entry-level cars get this big screen. I mean, it's absolutely huge. Now, I'll try and just work you through it. So you've got some shortcut buttons there, and you can swipe, and it's generally pretty good. And it's got all the functions that you want. You've got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you can use your mobile phone through it if you want to. The only thing is that maybe it's a little bit laggy, just, yeah, when you're dragging, especially the map and stuff like that. To be fair, the system isn't quite as slick as those you get with premium German brands such as BMW or Audi, but if you want more information on it, click on the top right hand corner of the screen on the pop-out banner or on the link below the video to watch my detailed video review of the infotainment system. Now, one thing that you do get on all but the entry-level car is this digital driver's display. And once you've fathomed out all the different menus and stuff, you're going to use that most of the time when you're driving. It's very nice that you've got that, and the switches kind of feel cool and expensive, and these switches down here as well. I do like it actually. I'm warming to it. The more time you spend in it, the more you like it. In terms of practicality, they haven't forgotten about that. Look, you can fit a big bottle in the door bin, and watch this. It's massive. That centre cubby, there's space down here for your mobile phone and charging points. Yeah, it's pretty good. Anyway, moving on to the back. I think that, yeah, it's easily spacious enough. Look at this. Yeah, loads of headroom. Knee room's good. I also like the fact that you've got a flat floor, so that if you have to carry three abreast, it's not so bad because there's loads of foot room for everyone. Perhaps the only niggle is that you might see it, you sit quite low to the floor, so the angle between your knee and your hip is a little bit kind of like squatting, but it's okay. You've got some decent sized door bins there, and they are lined with felt as well, so if you put things in there, they won't rattle about. Yeah, the premium feeling is extending into the back, that's a good thing. And you've got central armrest with some more cup holders there, and if you need to, you've got a ski hatch there, or maybe it's for carrying, I don't know, bits of wood if you're a carpenter. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, let's talk about the back of the car. So one of the options on this particular vehicle is the hands-free tailgate, but I don't think it's entirely necessary. Doesn't work at first go, like all those systems. An option worth having though is the riseable boot floor. Now it's £150 on this Prestige model, although you do get it standard on other versions, and it gives you some extra storage. Also means that you have no load lip to lift stuff over, which is handy when you're sliding items into the boot. And this boot, actually, the size of it, look at it, it's very, very big, big enough for a family. I like the fact that you've got levers here to lower the seats. And now you can see that they lie pretty much completely flat. And you've got some other features as well, 12-volt socket, which actually comes as part of the option pack for the riseable boot floor, and various tethers about the place, like there, straps, and some cubby space down there as well. And one final thing as well, I like this, look. The little clips to hold this false floor up if you want it. Now, for more detail on this car's practicality, to see how much stuff you can fit in its boot, what it's like with 3 adults in the back, and just how easy it is to fit a child seat, click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen or on the link below the video to watch my detailed practicality video. This DS7 is actually quite a nice car to drive just in town because obviously you sit up high. One problem that I do have though is the view out the back window. It's quite long, but it's very, very shallow. So that makes it a bit of a pain when you're reversing and stuff like that. So you're going to need to use the reversing cameras. Then there's the suspension. So this car is set up to be soft, so it deals with bumps really well. But you can get it with something called active scan. And what that does is have a camera which can read the road ahead and it can see bumps in the road. Then it can prime the suspension to deal with them. So it just sort of glides. It's really, really good. Yeah, it takes a strain out of all those blooming potholes and speed humps, I can tell you that much. Now, when you get on the motorway, that active scan suspension makes this car feel quite floaty, and that's nice and relaxing. So too is the fact that it's reasonably quiet in here. You've got some good soundproofing, and the chairs, I find them quite comfy. So that's all good. Another thing is the gearbox. So you can get it with a manual, but this 2-litre diesel actually comes with an 8-speed automatic, and it's good. When you put your foot down, it responds, and when you're just shunting around in traffic, it deals with that well, never feels jerky. Suits the car very well, as does this diesel engine as well, because it's punchy once you're moving. It can be a little bit noisy at very low speeds. You can hear it grumble, but when you're just cruising, it's fine. And it's supposed to do 56 miles per gallon, and I'm getting 43, which is all right. Other engines you can get include a 1.5-litre diesel, which I wouldn't bother with, and there's a couple of 1.6-litre turbo petrols, which are all right if you're not doing lots of miles because they're not quite so economical as the diesel. However, in future, you will be able to get a hybrid version, which could be quite interesting. The only problem with this car is when you encounter some fast sweeping corners, because there's a trade-off for that comfy handling, and that's the fact that it does feel a little bit loose and a little bit rolly through the bends. Yeah, it does. Now, if you have the active scan suspension, you can press a button to put it into sports mode, and it does stiffen things up a bit. So yeah, it does feel a bit more responsive, but still never really feels like a sporty sports utility vehicle. So you're best off just forgetting all about that and just put it back into comfort and do what this car's good at, which is just chilling out and trying to look good.
Now then, it's time for the CarWow 5 annoying things about this car.
The definition of the reversing camera is rather poor. Also, you're made to feel a little bit poor if you haven't paid extra for the surround view 360-degree cameras, because you still get the top-down view, it's just that most of the camera views are blanked out. This DS7 seems to have the worst case of fake exhaust pipes that I've ever seen. Look, you can actually stick your hand in them. They're even worse than on a Mercedes. When the car is running, you have these handy shortcut buttons here to operate various functions of the infotainment system, which is great. But let's say you turn the car off, but you still want to use the infotainment screen, I don't know, to do something. You lose the shortcut buttons. They're just not there, so it's just a guess as to what they do. What's that one? What's this one? What's this one? Oh, actually, it's a bit of a game. This bit of trim here is really sharp. When I was doing a demonstration earlier for the ski hatch, I actually caught my knuckle on it there, can you see? And it cut me. The voice commands on this car just don't seem to work at all, so...
To begin, say a command after the tone.
Increase temperature.
I'm having trouble getting that. Please try again.
I'm saying exactly what it wants me to say there, and it doesn't work at all. Maybe if I do it in French.
To begin, say a command after the tone.
Augmenter la température.
I'm having trouble getting that. Please try again.
Still nothing. Merde.
It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car.
The rear lights on this car just look absolutely epic. And so too are the indicator repeaters. I love the way they pulse. They remind me of those on an Audi. In fact, see this little badge? That's like the old Audi Sport badge. Oh well. If you want to make a car feel truly premium, you're going to need gas struts to hold the bonnet up, so you don't have to have one of those horrible little sticks. Oh yes, no expense spared. You don't have to worry about dirtying the backs of your trousers on the sills when you get out of the car, because the doors cover them to keep the muck off. You can get a special phone app for the car which records your driving data so you can see how economical you've been. Also, it's hooked up to the car's sat-nav and it'll actually direct you on foot when you get out of the car to your final destination, right to the door. Lo and behold, you can fit the parcel shelf neatly underneath the false floor when it's not in use. Brilliant. Now, if you click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen or on the link below the video, you can see how much you can save on a new car at carwow.co.uk. So then, my verdict on the DS7 Crossback: should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should consider the DS7. It is a very good car. My only problem is that a Peugeot 3008 is just as cool, and it's French, and it'll save you some money. Definitely not worth paying the extra for the DS badge. Not yet, anyway.
Now, did you spot the Easter egg in the video? It was the picture of Athena on the mobile phone in the car's centre console. Athena is a goddess, and déesse in French means goddess. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it. Click on our logo to subscribe, on the video window for more content, or on the deals box to the left to see how much you can save on a new car at carwow.com.